Every game counts as we get closer and closer to the NFL playoffs, especially in the NFC West, where there is now a three-way tie between the Cardinals, Seahawks, and Rams. CBS Sports senior NFL writer Will Brinson joins us now to recap all this week's biggest plays, including the last-second catch that led the Cardinals to a win over the Bills. So, Will, we got to start with that game. Kyler Murray threw up a Hail Mary lob to the end zone and stole the win from Josh Allen and the Bills. Both of those teams are pushing for the playoffs. What does this game mean for their playoff bid, and what'd you make of that matchup?
It was a thrilling game to have on the slate in Week 10. It really emphasized everything that was enjoyable about this week. We got the Masters in the morning and then a Hail Mary late, some action on Sunday night as well. I think when you look at this game, though, one of the big things that stands out to me is, first of all, these are two quarterbacks who are going to be in the MVP race potentially this year in Josh Allen and Kyler Murray, two budding young stars, and also two guys with alpha receivers, Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins, who were acquired in trades this offseason. Diggs makes this incredible catch on a great throw by Josh Allen with 34 seconds left in the game, and then Murray orchestrates this game-winning Hail Mary, or Hail Murray, as I believe we're calling it now, touchdown pass to DeAndre Hopkins. You got to get, look, the Bills didn't even play it poorly. They had three guys down there on DeAndre Hopkins, and he's just a superstar monster who got up in the air, snatched the ball down, and mossed him into oblivion. Big win for the Cardinals because it puts them in a three-way tie in the NFC West. They are right there in the mix with Seattle and with the Rams. And for Buffalo, it's a tough loss, but not the end of the world. The Patriots won and the Dolphins won. The Bills still are the favorites to win that division. But, it's tough to come back from that. There's a little bit of a letdown if you're Buffalo having defeat or, victory snatch or defeat snatched from the jaws of victory, whatever they want to call it. They had that game won with 34 seconds left and got daggered at the end.
So speaking of the Seattle Seahawks, the Seahawks took another loss, this time against the Rams. What is your take on Russell Wilson? And are we seeing the collapse of Wilson, or is there something else going on?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at look, I don't know if it's a collapse, but certainly I think the lesson that we thought we'd learned, maybe last week applies again, is that Russell Wilson has to be absolutely perfect for the Seahawks to win because their defense simply isn't good and they don't have a whole lot of a running game right now. And Russell Wilson hasn't been perfect the last 2 weeks. He has 7 turnovers in the last 2 weeks. That's not great. That's not MVP caliber football. This is his first game since 2016 with no touchdown passes and multiple interceptions. This was and only the 4th one of his career. The Los Angeles Rams, they have a really good defense. They are a contender in the NFC. They have been for the last 3 years since Sean McVay got there. And while Russell Wilson is still in the MVP mix, he is certainly no longer the favorite. And I don't think he has a real chance of winning if the Seahawks don't take the division. And I'm starting to have a harder and harder time believing that Seattle will take the division, given how well Arizona and LA are playing. This is certainly a red flag for Seattle football fans.
Meanwhile, Will, the Saints might have to go ahead without quarterback Drew Brees. He's headed for an MRI. Jameis Winston was forced to finish out the game after Brees injured his ribs. Can Winston carry the team to the end of the season? And could we be talking the end of the Brees dynasty?
Yeah, I mean, it's always possible. We saw this last year with Teddy Bridgewater. Brees hurt his thumb. Teddy Bridgewater had to come in for 5 games. He played really well. He went 5-0. He got a huge contract this offseason. So maybe this is this is why Jameis Winston went to New Orleans, because you want to sit behind Drew Brees. You want to go to the Sean Payton School of quarterbacking school. You want to resurrect your career. And by the way, Jameis Winston looks fantastic in these dark Saints uniforms. They say dark colors are more slimming. Absolutely. Jameis Winston looked outstanding, nice and svelte. It looks like he's dropped some weight, like he's worked out. I might have to get me a Saints uniform too. To come off this pandemic, the pounds you put on in the pandemic. But look, I think with the Saints, this is why they went out and got Jameis Winston too. They wanted a viable backup in case Brees got hurt, in case something happened. They know he's at the end of his career. This is more than likely his last year. He could still come back for one more, TBD on that. But I would expect that Jameis Winston will step in and be a viable backup and replacement, and that the Saints, I don't know if they won't skip a beat, but I think that they can certainly win football games with the defense, with Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, and with Jameis Winston under center.
All right, here we go. NFC East. From living in Philadelphia, I know the emotional roller coaster that is being an Eagles fan. It's usually elation, then despair, then elation again. What I saw yesterday was pure rage, and not at the other team. Fans were raging against their own team, the Eagles. They wanted answers from Peterson. They wanted answers from Wentz. They got a bunch of cliches post-game. What is your take on that game against the Giants?
I was going to say, you haven't even mentioned the team that whooped the Eagles, Anne-Marie, so I was waiting for that.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Actually, it does matter, to tell you the truth. The fact that it was the Giants also added to it.
Well, and the Giants are like straight up in the NFC East mix. They could go win the division and go to the playoffs. Talk about a steal for Joe Judge and a coup for Joe Judge if he pulls that off in his first year. It is wild how this is just how it works in the NFL, right? 1 week means so much. Coming into this week, it was considered the Eagles are a heavy favorite to win the division. Carson Wentz has been doing a great job sort of, managing to survive with a lack of weapons and with a lack of help around him. And then this game happens and everybody, look, the Super Bowl win for Doug Peterson and the Eagles might as well be 20 years ago right now because the fans are not happy with the way Doug Peterson's coaching. The offense doesn't look good. People like to point to Frank Wright being the guy who really orchestrated the success. This is how this works. Nick Foles and Frank Wright, they're the ones who won the Super Bowl now, right? You got to be concerned if you're an Eagles fan. They're still the favorite to win the division, minus 160 at William Hill, I believe. The Giants and the Washington football team, slightly longer shots to pull it off. And, of course, the Cowboys are technically there, too, as well. This division is awful. And I think that this is going to be the issue for Doug Peterson and the Eagles, is if they're the best team in the division. Like, they should be winning this division. They have the most talent. They have the most cohesiveness. And if they can't come together and find a way to do this with the franchise quarterback that they think they have in Carson Wentz, then the calls for and the questions about Wentz and about Peterson and their status in Philadelphia are only going to get louder because this division should be a free space. You cannot have a 3-win team taking down a division. This should be free money for the Eagles, and they're not taking it. And I think that is going to cause some issues for them down the road.
Yeah, there were a lot of questions about Wentz for sure and how long he's got. Will Brinson, thank you so much.
See you guys.